I'm here in my kitchen with the ingredients to make some homemade fresh pasta. So I have some water because the recipe calls for a little bit of water. I have my semolina pasta. Excuse me, not pasta, but flour. So, and the recipe that I'm using actually is on the back of this little bag right here. I have 2 eggs, some olive oil, and a little bit of salt. So let's get started. Okay, so even though the recipe calls for 2 eggs, I'm using 4 because I'm just doubling the recipe. So I already cracked my eggs and put them in a bowl. In this bigger bowl, I have my 3 cups of flour. I doubled it, so the recipe originally calls for 1.5 cups of flour, but I'm using 3 cups because, like I said, and it's semolina flour, so I'm just doubling the recipe. So now I'm going to add like about a tablespoon of some sea salt and just, you know, kind of eyeballing it, and I'm going to give this a whisk, and I'm going to beat up my eggs. So I'm just, you know, the eggs are supposed to be beaten, so I'm just kind of beating those up. Okay, so that's done. Just kind of giving a little stir to the salt and the flour. Okay, so I have my 1/4 cup of water that's added to the egg. So remember, I'm doubling this recipe and giving that a quick stir. Now I'm just going to add in my olive oil. Okay, so I'm adding in, I just added in the extra virgin olive oil. Remember, again, I'm doubling this recipe. So I'm just giving that a quick mix up. And now I'm going to add my eggs into my flour. Okay, so everything, I have my water, oil, and eggs in here. And I'm just going to pour this in there, and I'm going to start mixing it with my spoon. Both of them have. So of course I'm just going to mix this until everything is well incorporated and until it kind of starts to form a nice dough. So there may come a point in time where I'm going to have to like use my hands to like really get this stuff all mixed up. So I'm still mixing it, and as you can see, the moisture, the liquid is, you know, starting to absorb in the flour. So at this point, you may want to use your hands, or you know, you can just keep mixing it with the spoon. Okay, so you know your dough is nicely mixed when it starts to pull away from the sides and there's no dough on the side. So now I'm going to turn this out and start kneading it. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of flour the surface a little bit so that I can turn the dough out onto my area. And I'm going to put some on top too, just because the dough is like kind of sticky. And so I'm just going to knead this until the dough, it's really a soft dough, so you kind of want to be gentle with it, but I just kind of want to make it into a nice hard ball. So I'm going to knead this probably for about a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to let it rest in the bowl that I made the dough in, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so this is, see, the dough is like nice and smooth, and it's not sticking to my hands anymore. So now I'm going to transfer this back to my bowl. I'm going to oil it a little bit, and then I'm just going to let this dough rest for probably about 30 to 40 minutes. I just put some oil in the bowl, and I just had lightly oiled dough, and then I'm going to cover this with some saran wrap and let it rest. Dough is nicely covered, and just drape a little towel over this, and we're just going to put it in the corner here and leave it alone. Okay, here's my dough. nice and rested. So I'm going to turn this out on my countertop and roll it out. So I have my dough out, and what I've basically been doing is just like gently rolling it out. Now, however thin or thick you want your pasta to be, is that's how you're going to roll it. So I don't want my pasta too thin, but you know, I don't want it like doughed up dumpling style either. So I'm going to work with this right here in this pot. I have my water that's coming to a boil for the pasta, and so I'm going to continue to roll this out and then cut a few shapes. Okay, so I like this part of here is a little thin, but I kind of like the thickness of this. I had to like cut my dough into like 4 sections, and I have some more in the bowl behind me because, you know, my counter, I don't have that big of a counter space to like roll out all this dough. So like if I had some little cookie cutters, I would like probably make cute little shapes, because I know my children get a kick out of that. But since I don't, I'm just going to take this little paring knife here and, you know, just make, you know, whatever kind of little shapes I want for my pasta. So I'm just kind of cutting you know, little random shapes, and then I'm putting it on what do you call it, a little wax paper sheet until my water is ready. So here's some of the little shapes. Well, they're not that little, actually kind of big, that I've done already, and I'm just kind of laying them out and waiting till my water comes to a boil. Okay, so as you can see, my shapes are like totally random, and you know, you can kind of see, you know, the thickness of it. Because this is fresh pasta, like I would only cook exactly what I'm going to use at that particular moment, because you know, you don't want it to like goo up or anything like that. I think you can probably also like dry these out, you know, if you wanted to save some, or you know, like refrigerate them. So so this is what I'm working with right now, and I'm going to, like, you know, roll the rest out as it's needed. So I'm still waiting for my water to come to a boil, just, you know, trying to give you an idea of like the thickness of the pasta that I made. So as you can see, my pasta is fully boiled. I mean, excuse me, my pasta water is boiled, and that's like super hot. So I'm not touching that, and I'm just going to drop my noodles in one at a time. So, and when they float up to the top, then it's done. And as you can see, it's floating up to the top rather quickly. Well, it doesn't take long. So I'm going to get my slotted spoon and just like you know, scoop them out. So I'm kind of stirring it around a little bit, just so that you know, they don't like stick together. So I guess I could probably let this boil for like another minute or so, but I think it's probably pretty much done. So you can see that, and then I'm just going to transfer this from the pot directly to a plate. Okay, so just going to kind of lift this out and put it on this plate right there. So I'd probably better use both of my hands, because like this water is boiling hot. Okay, this is okay, I don't want to pick this up, but look at that. This is the boiled pasta. It's really hot. So this is the boiled pasta. I could have probably made these shapes a little bit smaller. It smells just like you know, any fresh pasta that you would get from the market. So I'm just like top this with, let me taste a bit. I mean, wow, this is great. I mean, it tastes just like, it's thicker, but it tastes just like pasta. I mean, well, of course, why wouldn't it? But it's actually really cool. It has a thicker texture to it, but this is really great. So I'm going to top this with the homemade spaghetti sauce that I made with fresh tomatoes and a bunch of dried herbs that I dried, and some celery and peppers, and just, you know, top it. You can top it with anything that you want. So I wouldn't probably mix this. I wouldn't like dump this in a pot of sauce. I would just like kind of scoop pot sauce over this and, you know, like top it off with some fresh vegetables or something like that. So just so you can see the difference of what the cooked pasta looks like. And, you know, this is, well, my camera's not really doing it justice, but like the dry pasta has like a more a deeper yellowish look, which, you know, what dry pasta looks like when it's dry. And this kind of has a more creamy color to it, and it's you know, it's a little bit stiffer, but it's, you know. So anyway, you know, give this a try if you want to do something different and, you know, make some fresh pasta for yourself or your family at home. Enjoy.